Sing it again.
Child Protective Services.
Child Protective Services.
Oh man, that was confusing.
You know, a lot of people have a lot to say about my parenting for some reason. I don't know why. As if they're in my household and they know how I take care of my children. I always ask my daughter all of the time what kind of mother she think I am. What kind of mom do you think I am?
You're not soccer mom, for sure.
I'm not. Am I helicopter mom? I feel like I'm helicopter mom.
Oh no, you're not helicopter mom.
Like I hover.
You don't hover too much. Because there's a limit.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't know if I hover anyway, because you like when I come around, like when I'm at
yeah. A lot of people like her in the school. Yeah, she's like super cool. Everybody's like, Mom! Tom's mom!
Tom's mom. Miss Mom.
Yeah, everybody loves my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's not like a helicopter mom. She's not a soccer mom. I feel like you will with Justice, because you want him to be like a sports person.
Excuse me as I kiss the sky.
This is Pastor Robert L. Carpenter II. There are a number of inappropriate videos being published on YouTube about Soncerae with malicious intent. These videos violate YouTube's community guidelines. We ask that you report any content that promotes or condones violence against her because of her race, gender, age, economic status, sexual orientation, or relationship status, as well as content that incites hatred or harassment. If you see any misleading descriptions, tags, titles, or thumbnails that use her name, image, footage, or voice in order to increase views, please report the content. Things like predatory behavior, stalking, threats, harassment, intimidation, invading privacy, revealing other people's personal information, and inciting others to commit violent acts all break YouTube's community guidelines. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate your subscription.
I think with him, because you know you had your dad and your dad is an amazing dad, and Justice doesn't have his dad, so I think I would be more kind of protective with him. But I don't want him to be a mama's boy. That's what I'm worried about.
Why?
I don't know. I don't want him to be like,
oh well, okay,
too mama's boyish.
Yeah.
Mama about everything.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like he won't be. Well, I doubt if he won't be independent. He'll probably be independent.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good now.
Yeah.
He just cries when he's hungry.
Yeah, he just cries when he's hungry and tired. Oh my god, when he wakes up, he is so mean. Like he's like, why are you waking me up?
If you're gonna wake me up, bring me food.
I know, right? At least give me some food.
Want some food? I want
some food. How long ago was that when that YouTube troll called defects?
That was like what, sophomore year? Senior.
So
that was like 2 years ago?
Somebody called Child Protective Services on me from YouTube because they thought what was it?
They thought she wasn't feeding me and she wasn't taking care of me. And I was like, and the thing that, like, okay, so the lady that came, she probably, like, right off the bat, she was like, okay, this person needs to go to jail. Because when I opened the door, I thought it was my dad. Because minutes earlier, he said, oh, I'm going to go to the store and pick up a few groceries.
Yeah, he had just left. Yeah. It was like almost 8 o'clock at night. And he had just left, and I was doing a live stream. Yeah. I was doing a live stream. I can't even remember what it was about. But I was upstairs in my room doing a live stream.
Yeah. So I went downstairs when I heard knocking because I thought it was my dad. So my hair was crazy. Then all I had was really a shirt and some basketball shorts. And I opened the door, and I was like, who? You're not my dad. The lady was like, what? Oh, hi, hello. Is this where Soncerae Smith lives? And I was like, yeah. You want to see her? She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, hold on for a second. So, you know, I closed the door, and I was like, there's like a lady. I went to your room, and I was like, there's like a lady downstairs.
And I thought it was the Jehovah's Witness lady.
Yeah.
So I said, what is she doing here so late? Like, why is the Jehovah's Witness lady?
Yeah. And
tell her we can't, not right now, you know, because I would let when the Jehovah's Witness lady and her husband would come, I would sit down and I would talk with them. I can't even remember this lady's name.
Yeah, and I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, she was like, it's not the Jehovah's Witness lady. It's not Jehovah's Witness lady. So then I came downstairs, right? And I opened the door, and she said that she was from Child Protective Services, and that she got a call that she needed to come and speak with me because my child was in danger. So I was in there like, excuse me, like who would do such and such? I left the live stream running. I didn't even, because I thought I was just gonna run downstairs right quick and come back upstairs to the live stream, but I left the live stream running. I remember I was doing a Google Hangout with one of my friends, and he was on the Hangout with you guys while I went to go to the door. So I went to the door, and she just started asking me all of these questions, and everything that she was saying had something to do with some trolls on YouTube. She was talking to me about Tommy Sotomayor. She was talking to me about, she just started naming all of these people. She was like, Angry Man. She just read off like this paragraph of how I had all of these issues with people on YouTube that I had never met before, and they were all male. And I was saying to her, what does any of this have to do with how I mother my children? Like, I don't get like what any of this has to do with anything. And so I think we sat there for like 2 hours, and she asked me, was I thinking about committing suicide, and how did I feel about depression? And I said, for a long time I was like depressed because of the way that my life was going, because right around that time things started changing. Yeah, like we went through a tremendous change, like a big change happened. I'm not going to discuss what happened, but something really bad happened. So when I tell you guys that I had a bad 3 years, this is when it first started, right? And so she asked me how I felt, and I said, well, earlier in the year I had a little bit of depression. And she asked me, did I consider, committing suicide before? And I said, yeah, I thought about that like a really long time ago. I haven't thought about it lately. And I made a video about thinking about committing suicide. So I think the person that called, who eventually admitted and made a video about them actually calling Child Protective Services on me because of suicide. And I'm thinking to myself, if you felt like I was about to commit suicide or I was about to harm my children, why not call 911? Why would you call DFACS? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You need to call 911. She asked me all of that, and she was just looking at me confused, like, how they tried to make you seem is nothing like who you are. And so she asked me, could she inspect my home and interview Dominique? So I went upstairs and left her downstairs with Dominique, and you remember what happened. So tell them what happened when she
basically. And when they started interviewing me, my dad came in. He was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah,
yeah. He was like,
came home.
He was like, "Who's this person?"
He came home and he came in the room and was like, "Who is this person downstairs interviewing Dominique?" So I had to explain to him that someone from YouTube had called DFACS, and this woman just randomly popped up at the house, and I wasn't about to let her in. She was like, "It's an emergency. If you don't let me in, I'm gonna call the police, and I'm going to have to, you gotta let me in." This is basically what she was saying.
Yeah, you started asking me questions about whether my parents were arguing about certain things. I was like, no, not really. The only thing they really argue about is who's paying for dog food. Because at that time, we had 3 dogs.
Yeah, they know 3 dogs.
We had Miles, Jazz, and Buttons.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you told her that we argued.
Yeah, I was just like, they just argue over who's paying for dog food, and even then, it doesn't really get violent.
Yeah, it doesn't escalate.
It's just like, okay.
I can't believe we argued over dog food.
But other than that, they don't really argue about it.
Yeah, we don't. I'm not an arguer.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, are you getting fed?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can check the fridge if you want something."
Why did she think you weren't getting? Who would tell this woman that I wasn't?
And the thing is, like, you made cooking videos. You were making cooking videos at that time.
Right, I was making tutorials. Like,
so,
right. I don't know.
She was just like, "Oh, well, I don't remember." It mostly just had something to do with, like, whether you two had a good relationship, whether you were, like, abusing me or whatever. And I was like, no.
Oh, yeah, she asked me, was your dad abusive?
I remember that.
Because I told her your father was not about to sit down and do an interview with you, nor could she go and inspect his room.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to inspect the whole house. Yeah. And I had a room, he had a room, you had a room. Yeah. And I said, listen, you can inspect every single room in this house, but you cannot inspect his, because he's not feeling the fact that you even in here. Yeah. And you was so mad.
I was like,
who was so mad? Like, who would do this, right?
Right. Like, it was like,
Dominique was so mad. I remember she was so annoyed. Like, why would this woman come to our house and think and do blah blah blah? So anyway, She asked me, was my daughter's father abusive, and he's not that.
He's really not.
He's sweet. We don't argue, you know. He has like a slight tinge of butthole, but we all got a slight, like he got a, I mean, it's very slight though.
Yes.
But most of the time he's like a good person, you know what I mean? So when she asked me that, I was looking at her like, what? My daughter's father would never do nothing like that.
Right.
And so anyway.
Yeah, and then she expected my room and her room. My room was dirty because at that time I was just like, I was tired.
No, see, we had switched rooms. Remember, I was in the YouTube
that's right.
room.
Okay, yeah.
I was in the YouTube room. She was in her room. Then we switched rooms because she liked being in the YouTube room better than she liked being in her own room.
Yeah.
So it was like patches on the wall, like, because he was trying to paint.
Oh,
this was before the room, because we had painted the room blue later.
Yeah.
But before that, it was like patches on the wall. So I know she was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
These patches. But, I mean, she clearly was fine.
Because she didn't really, like, nothing really happened afterwards.
Yeah, no, they never came back. She never called back. She said she was going to call back and they were going to do an update. And I said to her before she left out the door, I said, who in the world called you and told you that you needed to come here and try to open an investigation and try to take my child from me? And she said, well, I can't tell you that information because I have to protect that person. I said, well, who's going to protect me from you being all up in my business?
Right.
You know, who's going to do that? Because as you can see, we have a perfectly fine household here. You know, look through everything. You know, been all in the refrigerator, looked at the dogs and all this stuff. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Who's gonna protect me from you? And she didn't say anything, and I just told her to have a good night, and she left, and we never heard back from them ever again. And I just hate that, you know, I share my life on YouTube, my personal stories. Most of the time it's funny, and if it's not a funny story, it's something serious about my past that I'm trying to help somebody else go through. Because when you tell your stories, it's so many other people out there that's hurting, and they hear your story and they realize, okay, I'm not going through this alone, and this person made it through this situation, so I can move forward. Not everybody is that open with their life, but there are some type of boundaries that I wish people wouldn't cross.
Right.
Especially not the boundary in regards to how I am with my kids. I don't appreciate that at all. I remember Priest was like, when I was pregnant, he was like, I heard you wasn't a good mother. You know, I heard they're making videos about you being a bad mother. You don't like him. I saw that look on your face.
I don't like any of your exes. I'm just letting you know now. I don't like any.
You like Daddy?
Yeah. That's the only person.
You don't count. You don't count.
That's the only
person. Come on. You got to be one ex I had that you like.
I liked Lloyd.
You liked Lloyd. You liked Priest too.
I did like
initially.
Priest. Now he's a douchebag.
Now Lloyd's a douchebag.
Now Lloyd, yeah. Do you remember that one time he called me and he tried to explain everything?
Who?
Lloyd.
He did?
Yeah. He called you and was like, yo, can I speak to Dominique?
Oh, can I speak to Dominique?
Yeah.
I remember that. He did call me. I thought another time, I thought you meant he called you on his own and you didn't tell me.
No.
Oh, no, I don't remember that. But he did try to explain. I don't know, what did he say?
I don't even remember. He was just, because the whole time I was just like, you douche.
Yeah, he did try to explain it because you two were kind of,
yeah, we were close.
You were kind of close, you know, and that's why I didn't want to introduce you to any other guys that I was taking serious. But you liked Ben.
Ben doesn't count. I still like Ben, but he's douchebag, but I still count.
He's not douchebag like them two.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not on the douchebag that level. He's more like commitment phobic, and he's not gonna do anything super malicious.
Yeah.
Like so Ben doesn't count. So you met Lloyd.
I met Courage, Lloyd.
Courage, Lloyd, Ben.
David. I fucking hated David.
David was so, oh my God.
And I told you. I told you.
You did tell
I told you. I was like, I don't like him. He needs to leave. He needs to leave.
Hated David. I never told them about David.
Oh, really?
I think I did one video about David.
Oh, he's a douche.
She hated him. He was from Cuba.
I hated David.
He was so violent. She knew something was wrong with him. She didn't like him. They used to argue. One time they argued in Chick-fil-A.
Really?
Was it Chick-fil-A?
I don't remember. Oh no! Wait, was that?
It was Chick-fil-A.
Was it Chick-fil-A?
Yes, it was Chick-fil-A.
I thought it was that China buffet.
No, the China buffet we went to, y'all was quiet. I was like, why are they so?
Because I just hated him.
Quiet. It's like they hated. Oh my God! Well, she hated him. He didn't really. I don't know. David was just David. He's much nicer now. He had a baby after that. but we broke up. We was together when he moved in with me for a little while. Remember? I love that house.
Yeah, that was a really.
That's my favorite house.
I miss it. But remember when we were? I think we were arguing over baseball or something like that. You got mad at me because something that had to do with his baseball. He was like a really big fan of baseball or something like that, and he got it signed from like a baseball player.
Okay.
And I messed it up, and you got mad at me, and I was like, why did you get mad at me?
At Chick-fil-A?
No, not at Chick-fil-A. I think it was another time. I don't even remember us getting into an argument at Chick-fil-A. What happened?
Well, I don't remember the baseball thing. You don't even remember the Chick-fil-A
thing.
I don't remember getting mad at you over a baseball.
Yeah, you got mad at me over his baseball. And I was like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face with that.
How did you mess it up?
I don't know. I think I was just like...
You can't say, get the fuck out of my face. Now I gotta wipe out that whole thing.
I'm sorry. You can just blur out that whole sentence.
I'm gonna have to. Okay, anyway, so
I don't remember the Chick-fil-A thing. You gotta explain that to me.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A. Y'all was just fussing at the Chick-fil-A, and I can't remember what y'all was fussing about, but we was sitting inside of the Chick-fil-A, and y'all got mad at each other. Okay, so you met Courage. This is in a 10-year span.
Yeah, it was.
You met Courage, Lloyd.
Then
you only met Courage once.
No. I went to his house once.
Okay. Courage, Lloyd, then
David.
David.
Was there somebody before that? Before David? Mm-mm. Oh, okay. David.
We're talking about that I was really in a relationship with, because you met one guy that I was like dating. Just by accident you met him, and y'all start arguing over taking out the trash. Remember he said he didn't want to put trash in the his trunk?
Oh.
And he said, I see where you get your attitude from. You get it from your mother. And you said, no, I learned that from my dad. Men's supposed to take out the trash.
Oh, yeah. And he called me Diamond. I was like,
yeah, he used to call you Diamond instead of Dominique.
Dude, come on.
I was like, why does he keep calling her Diamond? Her name is Dominique. He's my head.
I hated that. I hated that.
No wonder we didn't date long at all.
Yeah. And then he called me Satan Spawn. Was that him?
That would be I'm Satan. No, I don't remember him calling you.
Yeah, because you're the person that told me. He was like, oh, he called you Satan Spawn. So would that make me Satan?
Exactly. Well, he was going through something anyway. He just got divorced, like maybe a year earlier. He was like moody. Anyway, so let's start over. Courage, Lloyd, Ben, David.
Who's after that?
Nobody, because a big gap.
Yeah, it was a big gap.
It was a big gap.
I want to say Priest, but I don't feel like that's accurate.
It is Priest, because there was nobody I was in a relationship with.
Oh, I thought it was somebody before that.
No, because the last person I was in a relationship with was Ben.